Right now on Hoosier News Source, we have an update on the shooting that took place at an off-campus party during homecoming weekend.
And a hall on campus receives a generous donation. We'll tell you how much it was and who it was from. And I have when the rain is going to hit the Midwest and the possible cool down for Halloween, as well as the Saturday forecast for the football game against the Northwestern Wildcats. Hoosier News Source starts now.
Hello and welcome to Hoosier News Source. I'm Noelle Friel.
And I'm Lexi Vanetti. We begin our show with a developing story about a student death. On Monday morning, IUPD received a call about a death at Reed Residence Hall. According to IU spokesperson Chuck Carney, the identity of the student found dead is freshman Jessica Tran. Carney said there is no identification of suicide at this time and that IUPD does not suspect foul play. The cause of death is still being investigated, and you can follow IUS TV on Twitter for updates.
The School of Informatics, Computing, and Engineering on Woodlawn Avenue has been renamed after donor Fred Luddy. This donation comes after Luddy donated a $60 million grant. The grant will be used for an official artificial intelligence program. Luddy was a former IU student in the 1970s. Although he did not graduate, he has previously donated to help construct the building now named after him. Luddy Hall is the third building on campus to be renamed this year.
And now for an update following the house party shooting that left 2 injured over homecoming weekend. This week, Hoosier News Source reporter Noelle Friel spoke to the tenants of that house and IU spokesperson Chuck Carney. Take a look.
Alert required! Shots fired! Alert required! Shots fired! Alert required! Shots fired! Alert required!
IU students gathered to protest after no IU Notify alert was issued to students following a shooting that occurred at a house party homecoming weekend. That was 2 weeks ago. Last Friday, students marched to the Dean of Students' office to present him with a petition created by IU senior Gus Gonzalez for IU to change its Notify policy to include off-campus incidents. The petition received over 3,000 signatures. So why was there no alert issued? IU spokesperson Chuck Carney says the IU Notify policy does include off-campus incidents, but that the shooting didn't meet the criteria of an ongoing threat.
We did not get information at that time, and really until much later, that the Bloomington police were looking for a second suspect.
It was at this home on South Grant Street, a property leased by IU Real Estate, where the shooting occurred homecoming weekend. One of the tenants of this house, IU senior Grant Mitchell, says that the first time IU Real Estate reached out to him and his roommates about the shooting was to tell them to either willingly confiscate their lease or face eviction.
They informed us that we were being evicted by that Friday, and we would be evicted by that Friday unless we've signed a mutual agreement, and we had until 9 a.m. the following day to do that.
Carney says that the tenant's eviction was not due to the shooting, but because they were running a business out of the house.
They were running a business out of an IU leased property, which they did. They rented out the house to have someone else bring in music performances.
We have never once ever made a profit for ourselves from a brick house show. Not ever once. In fact, we've lost money by running this. So the fact that we would be running as a business or somehow trying to profit for our own sake is ridiculous.
Although no cameras were allowed inside the meeting at the Dean of Students' office, Gus Gonzalez said he was happy with the dean's response.
The dean's office vocalized their concerns for the students' concerns regarding IU Notify, and they did tell us that they plan on having these conversations within their student body meetings, and they do plan on implementing change within the policies.
You can sign up to receive IU Notify alerts via phone, text, or email at protect.iu.edu. And students are encouraged to download the Rave Guardian app to receive IUPD tips via text and other public safety information. Coming up, Zoe Mintz joins us in studio with our weekly weather report. And a former IU Foundation employee is under investigation by IUPD. Find out why when we come back from break. You're watching Hoosier News Source.
Welcome back to Hoosier News Source. Halloween is this week, and our weather reporter Zoe Mintz wants to make sure you're prepared for the Indiana weather coming with it. Zoe?
Thanks, Noelle. And we will definitely be seeing some more rain this week as we have this nice low pressure system pushing into our area up to the northeastern part of our country. And this really just means rain all the way from the Great Lakes down to the Gulf of Mexico. We are going to be seeing widespread showers. This should begin around 1 p.m. on Wednesday, continue overnight, even into Thursday. Unfortunately, though, as this low pressure system passes us, we are going to see the possibility of snow as well into the Great Lakes region. We are also going to see on Halloween definitely chillier temperatures, waking up at around 10 a.m., 52 degrees, 78% chance of precipitation. Definitely going to be seeing some heavy rains as you head into Thursday morning. Throughout the day, though, it should not get too much colder, still going to be rainy. If you're heading out for Halloween evening, though, luckily the rain should stop down to around 25%. Gusty winds, though, will be upon us. Around 25-mile-an-hour winds are definitely possible as you head into later on Halloween, though. Luckily, though, the rain will stop, bringing us chillier temperatures down into the mid-30s. If you are going to be out on Halloween, definitely make sure you are going to be dressed warmly. Luckily, though, this system will have moved to the northeast of us, of the area as we head into the weekend, leaving us with a beautiful and sunny football game Saturday against the Northwestern Wildcats. If you're heading out for the tailgate, it's around 7 p.m. is the game, so around 3 p.m., 46 degrees. It will be mostly cloudy. The sun should be coming out, though, at game time, 42 degrees, not much of a chance of rain, luckily. As you head into the evening, though, definitely bring layers. When the sun goes down, temperatures are going to be going down into the mid-30s. Definitely a chilly day, but luckily with a sunny day, we are definitely going to see a beautiful tailgate for the football game. But if we take a look at the extended forecast, once we get to the weekend, we should see the return of the sunshine. You can see sunny days definitely upon us for the majority of the weekend. Once we get past that low pressure system that we're going to be seeing hitting us Wednesday and into Thursday for Halloween, bringing down the temperatures. Luckily, the sun will be coming back out for the weekend. Lexi, Noelle, back to you.
Changes are coming to the Bloomington Transit system. Bloomington Transit has created a project that will integrate bus routes and modify other routes to make them more efficient. It will be implemented in hopes to increase ridership, which has been on the decline since 2014. The new and improved bus routes will be introduced in fall of 2020.
Acclaimed actress and LGBTQ activist Laverne Cox, an IU alumna, will headline Indiana Remixed, the 4th annual Global Arts and Humanities Festival, which is held on IU's campus each spring semester. This year, coinciding with IU's bicentennial year, Indiana Remixed will focus on artists, scholars, and other cultural figures whose work is rethinking and reshaping Indiana state culture. Tickets to see Laverne Cox at the IU Auditorium are now on sale. An IU Foundation employee who embezzled over $300,000 is under investigation by the IUPD. The foundation found inconsistencies during financial audits in late August and then reported them to the IUPD. An Indianapolis firm has since been conducting a forensic audit. The case could then be turned over to the FBI, making it a federal investigation. The name of the suspect has not been released to the public.
This past weekend, the IU football team had everyone talking about their nail-biter against Nebraska.
That's right. Our resident sports reporter, Joe Cantor, is here in studio with us to describe the game in detail, as well as update us about the IU men's soccer team. Joe, take it away.
Thanks, Noelle and Lexi. The Indiana football team has accomplished something they haven't done since I was a wee freshman. That's right. They are going to a bowl game, and this is how they did it. Hoosiers in Lincoln, Nebraska, and less than 2 minutes into this one, they find themselves trailing. That was Noah Verdell who rushes it in. Rough start for the Hoosiers. But IU has their own running QB. That's right, Peyton Ramsey filling in for Mike Penix, and he scampers his way in from 8 yards away. Ramsey would have himself a day. Now, the defense getting involved with maybe a scoop and score. He's got it at the 50, the 40, the 30. He could go all the way. No, they're going to get him down. They're just going to bring him down. But that brings it to Peyton Ramsey. Very next play, back shoulder dime he drops in there to Ty Freifogel. Hoosiers are back on top. Now to the third quarter, tied at 24. Ramsey finds Matt Bjorson. Touchdown, Indiana. Hoosiers would take control and never relinquish it from there. They go on to win this one, 38-31. They are 6-2, and that means they are bowl eligible for the first time in 3 years. Congrats to Tom Allen's squad. From American football to the pitch, Where don't look now, but the Hoosiers soccer team is in the midst of another stellar Big Ten season. Indiana versus Rutgers, Yeagley's defense was up to the task as they pitched a shutout. First blood was drawn by Joris Alvini. What a name and what a shot. See him strike the Superman pose there. IU got the Scarlet Knights down and kept it on him as Joe Schmidt slides it past the keeper. That would make it 2-0. And oh, the humanity little windmill arrow shot celebration. How often do we see that? Then the proverbial cherry on top, Aiden Morris takes the keeper's deflection right off his right leg, puts it in the back of the net. Hoosiers notched their second win in a row. They are now 5-1 in the Big Ten, but don't look now. Guys, IU football is going to a bowl game. That's exciting. Hasn't happened since I was a freshman.
Right, and do you know where they'll probably end up? Where do you think they will?
It depends on how many wins they end up with, maybe like Detroit or something, but got to make sure you guys get out to the game on Saturday. It's a night game. How exciting is that?
I know. I don't think I've been to a night game.
Doesn't happen a whole lot, but make sure you get out there and support your Hoosiers while you can.
And with that, thank you so much for watching this week's episode of Hoosier News Source.
To learn more about this week's stories, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at IUSTV News.
I'm Lexi Vanetti.
And I'm Noelle Friel. For Bloomington, Indiana, we'll see you next time.